Everybody, let's call this meeting to order. Brewster County Commissioners Court, July 14th, 2026. Let's all rise for the invocation and the pledge. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for all your blessings, Lord. We thank you for this rain. We ask for strength and wisdom as we go about the county's business. In Jesus' name, amen.
Yeah.
Our flags are missing, so we're gonna go there. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Hard. Only the sheriff took our flags and so we got a budget meeting on the sheriff's department today. That budget just got slashed. Okay, let's do number 4, review, discuss, and take necessary action to approve previous meeting minutes. Commissioners Court meeting of June 23rd.
I need an order and moved up.
Okay, motion to approve in a second. Discussion. All in favor to approve of June 23rd, say aye. All right, Commissioners Court meeting on June 30th.
A short one, move to approve.
That was a quick one, yes. All right, motion to approve.
I'll second.
Got a second. Discussion. All right, all in favor of the June 30th minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Number 5, public comments. Anything this morning? Okay. Recognitions and announcements. Jim, you got anything down there?
No, sir.
Anything special?
Road and bridges is keeping the streets running.
There we go. Sarah? Burlingwell?
Some places got an awful lot of rain. I think the creek was running pretty hard. You might need a kayak to get out of your house, but as far as I know, other than that, everything's fine.
Just FYI, the state has sent a swiftwater rescue team. They're stationed here for a few days in anticipation tomorrow and the next day of the river coming up pretty significantly. So we do have, for what it's worth, we have somebody stationed here.
Let's hope nobody tries to drive across running water.
Yep.
Let's go down the river.
Well,
Say anything?
I tried.
No, sir, it's, so good, we had it good for it, good going out. Took the coffee, good. Fundraiser was good.
Tomorrow? That's
Not much. I enjoyed the 4th here and it was well attended. Yeah, my oldest daughter came to town and goes, Dad, you know, we have a camel down here at Loose on the, so, yeah, that's Carl. Yeah, I know there's a camel.
Yeah, I did the trifecta. I did Marathon, Alpine, and Terlingwood. Got to see the whole county, so it's good. All right, report from Alpine. Stevens.
Good morning, how y'all this morning? Just 4 quick items. We did a dedication of our Art Walk Plaza, which, as you know, is the corner of 5th and Holland. And got that officially opened up and looking forward to having our kiosk operating out there. From a business standpoint, I know you all are talking about budgets and we're working budgets as well. The big item we have on our agenda, we worked at the last city council meeting and we'll be working in the next city council as our master fee schedule that we update on an annual basis. I think the big item that affects everyone is what our plan will be relative to what we charge for water. City's not increased the water rates in the last 5 years, currently $8.57 to have basically a 3/4 inch water line. And then water is $3.40 per 1,000 gallons. So basically $12, pretty cheap. You can rate that against anywhere around. We're the lowest price anywhere in this part of Texas. The consideration is to move up the basic water meter rate. Right now, my sense is the council is looking at either $4 an increase, which would take it from $8.57 to $12.57, or at another $1 on top of that. And then the other would be to increase the per 1,000 gallon water rate from $3.40 a 1,000 gallons by $1 or $1.50. I think the big debate back and forth is maintaining the water infrastructure and making sure we have the resources to take care of what we need. Flip side of that is that's a pretty significant increase, particularly for those who are on fixed income. Once again, still the lowest rate in town. My sense is council will probably settle in on, adding the $4, and then my sense, based on our last meeting, they'll probably want to push up the per 1,000 gallon up to $1.50. So that's the big debate we're having right now. And we will approve that, expect at the next city council meeting next Tuesday. So anyone who wants to come voice your opinions or talk to your council members. If you live in the city or if you get water outside the city, because we have roughly 3,000 customers. And of course, the county customers who use city water pay 1.5 times the normal water rate. The other item we had, and I said I'll bring it up to Commissioners Court here today, is the discussion about participating in the water district. So I think, Judge, would probably like to get a good discussion lined up in a semi-formal session so the council really understands the implications of participating in the Brewster County Water District.
Okay.
We see the pros, we see the challenges there. I think the big issue from a council perspective is making sure the city has representation, particularly because of the impact that it would have overall. We know that we'd end up paying some additional costs, about $25,000 a year to participate. But we also know there's some benefits as we look at from a county-wide perspective. We know it doesn't impact private wells, but as one of the largest consumers of acre feet of water in the northern side, importantly part of that. So if we can get that on the calendar, that'd be great. The last item I said is we're diving into budget. We're gonna have a budget workshop at 4 p.m. Next Tuesday. That'll be our first look at where we see our budget settling out. I know you all are sorting through yours. We finished an audit that was 2 years behind. We finished that. Good news there is we know we're able to sustain our fund balance. We expect to have our next audit complete by the end of this month. We'll probably look at it as part of our budget process in August. Then we'll all be caught up on that, which is really important for us because we're looking for grants from the Texas Water Development Board to be able to support our water infrastructure. When we look at our capital improvement plan over the next 5 years, it's $17.1 million. That's a pretty sizable chunk. And we got to make sure we can afford that if we're going to work it. So we're going through the same issues all the other organizations are going through right now. Questions for me?
I have a question. So are you still utilizing or hauling water with it?
No, we stopped that. No, we're not hauling.
I saw a truck today hooked up to a hydrant.
Yeah, we sell water out there from a bulk standpoint.
I don't know what he was doing, putting it in or taking it out.
He would have been taking it out. Yeah, so we use the airport as our fill point for people who want to purchase water in a bulk standpoint. We also, if we have to, we make sure the west side's covered. But so far we're doing reasonably well. The rain's helped a lot. I think we'll find out. And we were down. I can't recall the depth we were at on Roberts well number 4 in terms of that new 12-inch well we're putting in. We hope to get 500 gallons per minute out of it. It's not done yet, but that's where we're at. But somebody could have been purchasing water, and they're using it all the time.
Mr. Stevens, the recycling center for the county citizens,
Yes.
okay, they're not letting them, they want to charge them. They don't want to let them do like they do the city people.
So I know there are 2 different items there. I know they're following the agreement we have in place. If you can give me some specifics, I'll be happy to go work it because I know this has come up. Other people have raised it. We said, oh, here's the rules we're following. And they said, okay, got it.
Yes, they're, if you live in the city, they don't charge you, you just gotta show a utility bill, right?
That's correct.
Okay, and so these are the county people, and they want to dump and they want to charge them.
Let me go ask again. I know that issue came up and I'll get back to you, Ruben.
I thank you.
Yeah, if you can give me a specific, have them give me a call. You got my number. Just have them give me a call direct. We'll work it real time. That way, if they're out there, we get the issue worked as supposed to, going back.
I don't get it in real time, I get it after they get to the house and
They call
they
back.
dispute on this, some, okay?
Got it. Okay, but as soon as you get it, let me know, please. I'll go work it.
I thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
All right, any other questions, for Mr. Stevens?
Thank you.
No, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, number 8, let's review, discuss, and take action. We got our 25 audit in, and you have a copy of it on your in front of you. And I think we're going to have Mr. Singleton is on camera with us today. He's, I guess, in the Bahamas now that his audit's done. I can, oh, you're on mute.
Okay, sorry, I was muted there.
I figured I'd see palm trees or something. I mean,
No, I'm just over in the Austin area.
you got, all right, the floor is yours. I'll let the commissioners.
All right. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, good morning, Judge Hennington and commissioners. And yeah, thanks for allowing me to do this Zoom call presentation today of the fiscal year 25 annual financial audit of Brewster County. And I'm Preston Singleton, and I'm a partner with the county's external audit firm, which is Singleton Clark CPAs. Now, as you know, for almost 2 years now, our firm and all of the county financial personnel have been working to get the county caught up and current on its financial audits. And I believe we can say the county has accomplished that goal this year of staying current on its audits for fiscal year 25, because we're issuing this audit today before fiscal year 26 has even concluded. With that said, though, I know the county's next goal is to try to start getting its audits issued within 6 months of its fiscal year end. And so that would be March 31st each year for you guys, since Brewster County has a September 30th fiscal year end. And I think the county is now on pace to hit that earlier goal next time around. And so that's great to be able to say that. And congratulations to Brewster County for really being back on track on its audit schedule. Okay, I believe you should all have a bound financial report there before you. And I'd like to start today by quickly just pointing out our independent auditor's report, which is right up front on page 1 of the packet. If you could flip to page 1. And if you go there, you'll see our independent auditor's report on the Singleton Clark letterhead. And this is about a 2.5-page letter giving our firm's opinion on the accuracy of the financial statements. And I won't read that letter to you. I just wanted to point it out to you, show you where it is, and just clarify that the wording in this letter is the standard unmodified version wording, which means it's the clean audit report, as you might say. And what this means is that we are saying to the public that we believe these financial statements are materially correct and are stated in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. And so, of course, this is a version of the letter that any audited organization would want to receive at the end of its audit. And our firm is, of course, basing our opinion in this letter on the fact that we actually did examine the evidence behind the numbers within these financial statements during the audit. Okay, now that I've shown you our assurance letter on the financial statements, let's go take a look at what I think is the most informative one in the whole packet. And that is the general fund budgetary schedule, which is going to be back on page 27. If you could all please flip to page 27. Okay, once you get to page 27, it should say the statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance, budget and actual at the top. And it's got that long name because this financial statement is going to show us all that good stuff for the general fund. It's going to show us the revenues that came in, the expenditures that went out, and how the difference between the inflows and the outflows caused the fund balance to change for the year. And most importantly, it's going to show us where the fund balance ended the year, because the ending fund balance for the general fund is the primary indicator of the financial health of a governmental entity. So your actual results on this page are actually shown in the third column of numbers going down the page labeled General Fund Actual. And I'll just run down that column. It shows that the general fund reported revenues or money in total of just over $9.8 million. Moving further down, total expenditures were reported at almost $8.8 million. And so an initial excess of revenues over expenditures from regular operations of just over $1 million, shown in the next line down below total expenditures. If we move a little further down though in the column though, we see some transfers of money in and out of the general fund, which netted to an overall transfer out of about 500,000. And that net amount going out primarily went to the Road and Bridge Fund to the tune of about 400,000, and the rest went to the Courthouse Security Fund for about 100,000. Okay, so when it was all said and done, the general fund ended up increasing its fund balance for the year by about $500,000, shown in the third line from the bottom, to end at that very last line in the column at $8,382,000 as of September 30, 2025. And that ending fund balance level is actually a very, very good fund balance level for a governmental entity because it represents almost a full year of general fund expenditures based on what you all spent in fiscal year 25. And so that's very good because in theory, if no more money were to come into the county, you could go on for about another full year. So that's a really good financial cushion there. So great job with finances there in very good shape. Okay, let's go now just talk about the overall summary of audit results. And that's going to be at the way far in the back at page 105. If you can flip way to back to page 105. All right, if you're back there, it should say the schedule of findings and question costs at the top. And there's a section 1 at the top that says type of auditor's report issued is unmodified, and that's the one that I showed you first right up front of page 1. And again, that's the clean report on the financial statements. It goes on to show a series of check boxes. And the first one is check no, indicating we did not observe any material weaknesses in the financial internal controls of the county. Those are the more serious deficiencies in internal controls. The next two boxes are checked yes, however, saying we did observe a significant deficiency in the internal controls on the topic of grants accounting. And we also noted non-compliance material to the financial statements on the topic of budgetary overages. And those two matters are only two audit findings we have this year. And those are listed on in section 2 on the next page if you want to flip the page over one to page 107. Okay, so we do have two audit findings this year, and that I'll summarize for you. And the first one's labeled 2025-001 grants, accounting and financial reporting. And by the way, governmental audit findings are required to be laid out in the following format, listing each of these sections. A criteria section, and think of that as a statement of the way things should be. A condition section, think of that as where we're describing the condition we found things in. The cause section, that's the believed cause of the condition. The effect, That's the consequences of the condition as it is. And then finally, a recommendation of what the auditor proposes be done to remedy the situation. So these findings are laid out in great detail for you in that format. And I won't read all that detail, and instead I'm just going to quickly summarize the main issue that's each one is discussing. And this first one, what it says there is that the county's official accounting system is the one that's maintained in its financial accounting software. And that's called, for you guys, Tyler Technologies Encode. That's the product that you use. And that system, it should be accurate at all times and represent, as you might say, the sole source of truth for the county's finances. And that's in fact what we audit each year. We audit that system. Now, the problem noted in this finding is that the county fell into this practice of maintaining its grants accounting for most grants on separate external Excel spreadsheets and was filing grant claims with the state based on those external Excel spreadsheets rather than from the accounting system. And so this is very problematic because the grants accounting in the county's official system was not supporting the grant claims that it had filed with the state because the system was not updated and accurate. And so this issue was taking a lot of analysis time to correct each year to bring the accounting system into agreement with the Excel spreadsheets. And so what we're recommending here is to really stop that practice of using the external Excel spreadsheets for the grants accounting, and instead first make sure that the grants accounting gets accurately completed in the Encode financial software first, and then the grant claims are filed based on reports ran out of the accounting system. And that way the grant claims will always be supported by the accounting system, and they'll also already be the system will already be updated and accurate on a monthly basis and at the time of the year-end audit. All right, that's the first one. And then the second one, if you flip the page one more time, you'll see our second finding. Page 108. And this is 2025-002 budgetary noncompliance. And this one is simply a budget or simply reporting that two budgetary line items of the general fund budget were reported overspent as of year end. One being the culture and recreation line item that was overspent by about 105,000 or a 25% overage. And the other one was the capital outlay line item that was overspent by 63,000 or about 100 or 168%. So budget overages really they are our most common finding. But when the court adopts the budget, it is set by law, and so we're therefore required to report significant overages if they are observed at year end. And going forward, the way to avoid budgetary overages is really to take a close look at the budget to actual results in September, and before that last meeting that you have of the fiscal year, go ahead and try to identify any overages and amend the budget upward to alleviate those. Well, all right, that is my executive summary for you, and I'll leave out a lot. But if anyone has any questions now about anything I did or didn't cover, I'd be happy to try to answer them for you now.
What I'm hearing you say, Preston, is that the books look good. We got a couple of little hot spots we need to work on, particularly in the grant. And I would tell the court that we're making changes in our grant process. For the court's knowledge, what happens is our grants are reimbursement grants. So we get the money in, we pay for the item, It goes on our general ledger. And then we get reimbursed. We fill out a form to get reimbursed for what we spent. We've had it backwards. So what was happening is the spreadsheets were being sent in for reimbursement, but they weren't matching the general ledger, which is, as he said, the master books. It was just flipped. And so we're taking some steps to fix that right now. Patty Roach over there in the corner is gonna take over our grant administration. Doesn't take anything away from, I mean, the sheriff will still say he needs this or he needs that, because most of this is law enforcement grants. But we'll be able to reconcile it back to the general ledger, get that straightened out. So that's kind of what's causing the problem. The spreadsheets didn't match our general ledger. And, you know, the general ledger is the Bible, as far as we're concerned. And then on the other one, I think 25 was a kind of a conversion year for us as we moved to Tyler. And so I think you won't see the budgetary overages in 26 like you did in 25 because of the change and so forth. So I think that'll go away just organically, and we're working hard on grants to get that fixed. So I'm pretty happy with the fact that, you know, when we started here a few years back, we were about 3 years behind. So now we're caught up, and, you know, we've already engaged Preston for the 26 audit, which he'll start in the fall.
Yeah, very soon now, actually, early August.
August, there you go.
Already starting over in the first week of August.
So I mean,
I move to accept the findings on our audit.
Okay.
I'll second.
Motion and a second to approve the 25 audit as presented. Any discussion? Sarah, do you have something? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a margarita on us.
I gotta get back to, I wish I could, but I gotta get back to work today, so. But thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you, Preston. We appreciate it.
All right, see y'all soon. See y'all
All right.
soon. Bye.
Thanks. For my bankers in the room, no offense, but y'all are dead last today, so. You're welcome to go get coffee, or unless you just want to listen to us, because we're fixing to do budget. Okay, number 9, review, discuss, and take action on the consolidation of election precincts.
Right.
Combination, excuse me.
It is
Combination.
time to look at the November election. We've already started work on getting the November general election in order. And this is just a simple request. You have done this before, combining precincts into polling locations. It just helps us a lot as far as scheduling our workers, getting our equipment moved. You have on the notes that I left, I put what our actual registered voter versus voter turnout was for the March primary election. So you know what that election turnout was. And of course, those numbers were considerably lower for our primary runoff. How we would like to combine the voting precincts are precinct 1 and 2 here at Val Clark Beard. Of course, Marathon stays in the Civic Center there. We'll have 4 and 8 at the Alpine Civic Center, 5, 6, and 7 at the Red Patio Community Center. And this is exactly how we did it for the primary runoff, with no issues, no problems, no negative feedback from the voters or anything. So that's all we're seeking, is just that if you'll approve those, then we can go ahead and get our order and notice of election done and get those out.
Makes sense to me. Anybody, any questions? I'd entertain a motion to accept this proposal.
I'll second.
Motion by
Yeah.
Commissioner Morrow, second by Mr. Westerman. Okay, discussion? All in favor of combining these precincts as presented, say aye. Aye. Okay,
Great, thank you.
yeah, thank you. All right, county judge reports, just a couple of quick, 3 agreements I just need to have approved. One is the 10A. We've been offered free computer training by the Texas Association of Counties as part of our membership, and this is just an agreement to accept that free training. All right, motion,
I'll second.
motion is second, discussion. As you guys know, everybody in the county is required to take this training by the end of August, I think is right. So if you haven't taken it, commissioners, this year they've added AI. So you get to see 2 seminars now, so. And it'll put you right to sleep, but it is required. All right, motion is second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 2, 10B is ratify the renewal contract with the United States Army for the use of the fire station. They're still using our fire station as a sick bay. If you have a chance to go by and meet the young men and women in there, super nice. Probably you can take care of you if you had a cold. But they pay us a little rent money for the fire station, and they have swapped out. We have the 101st Airborne in now. The other team has left and the new ones have come in. So I just need approval for that. Motion is second. Second. Okay. Motion is second. All discussion. All in favor, say aye. All right. And lastly is the review, discuss, and take action to ratify the interlocal agreement between us, Jeff Davis, and Presidio County regarding the juvenile probation. We've not had an interlocal agreement in the past. This is something new, but basically just spells out how we share expenses amongst the 3 counties regarding juvenile probation.
Do we share it evenly?
No, it's based on, of course it isn't, but it's based on volume, which isn't very high. And it's in our budget. You'll see it in our budget. I did a motion. Second, anybody?
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, great. All right, let's move on. Road and Bridge Department Superintendent's report.
Good morning, all. We've been kind of busy moving the blades around. I have one blade on South County Road, Lone Star Road, Vulture, Phil Moss. And then I have another one on, Awafia, North County. And then our other one is north of town on Glass Mountain Ranch, Mills and Bench. And we're kind of hitting the rougher spots that have been washed out. And then 2 or 3 days later, they get washed out again, so they go back and make the roads passable for the residents. We also hauled some grade 5 material to Marathon. We're gonna do a little paving on the streets in front of the high school. And we're also in the process of I'm making arrangements with Tres Pesetas out of El Paso to come and get some tires, some scrap tires that have been left from the dump days from previous years and this year. I should hear from them sometime today. Also.
Make sure we get the other ones from Toledo Hall so they can do the same much.
Yeah, I need to move those over here so it's closer for. And then also on July 3rd, someone called Commissioner Ortega in regards to a building that had blown over down at Terlingua. But it was not the actual information building, it was the lean-to that was on the south side.
We got all that metal picked up.
Well, we moved it. There was a lady that came out and said that she was gonna take care of it. She got a little upset because we were out there moving the stuff away. We piled it off to one side.
Did she take it?
I have not been down there yet.
Did she buy county property from us? I didn't know if she. Anyway, all right, so let's get it all.
Get her name.
No, she just came out of the blue and she was pretty hot. She didn't give me a chance to explain anything. She didn't say anything, so. But we went and took care of what.
Always give her 1-800 county judge. Give her that number. I mean, look, we wanted you to haul off so it didn't blow around.
Yeah.
Then it went through somebody's house and then they really would be mad at us.
Yeah.
Right, since it belonged to us. Okay. Check on that, make sure it's gone.
I will.
Or something. If she comes out and yells again, give her my 800 number.
And also, there's no permit request at this time. They also talked, this morning I talked to a gentleman out at the Los Ranchos Estates by the name of Clint. He called because there was an exposed water line that comes off of the south side of the mountain up there that I didn't know it was there, and we've been blading through there, and it was exposed. We have not tore it up yet, but
Yet.
he let me know that there's also more water line up next to the two-story house as you come in. And it's getting pretty close to being uncovered. So I need to get with the city to get a locate and see where that water line goes to. Before I put any heavy equipment on that little patch that we need to fix. But he said he doesn't know exactly where the water line goes to or comes from.
Yeah.
But he just found it exposed here about a week or so ago.
It came after the last flood that went through Alpine Creek, and it's just laying out there and no one knows where it comes from or where it goes to, but
Well, right now it's covered up.
okay,
Until it rains again.
until it rains.
I guess if you cut it, you figure out who owns it.
With silt, so I don't exactly know where it's at. He just kind of pinpointed.
Oh, okay.
to me that it should run here, but I can't promise you it's there. So.
No.
All right, Johnny, we're gonna move those tires off of Turling's lot and get them up here as quickly as we can, right?
Yes.
Cause you've probably got the biggest collection of rattlesnakes and mosquitoes in Brewster County down there by now, I bet.
They're probably here down and everywhere else too.
Okay, anything else for Johnny? Ruben, you got anything on Ruben Ditch?
Also, we had some good comments on the job that the guys did at the post parking lot.
Look nice.
We had a lot of good comments on that.
Good. Yeah, I drove over Saturday and did donuts and didn't even tear it up. Good. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, number 12, emergency management.
Apparently, yeah, people got tired at midnight, went to bed, so it was weird. So, good 4th of July. I'm going to bring it to you and let you all know that due to the rain and everything that's been happening, the drought monitor, we're doing really, really good to lift the burn ban for 30 days. And for the next few weeks, we're getting rain, so, I mean, good luck burning. So, but,
They still, well, go ahead. What are y'all thoughts on what they did?
I mean, some of the big part of the county is good, but there's still some areas pretty dry.
Sure.
Right. But if I'm gonna do a burn, I'm gonna call you anyway.
most of the dry area seems to be down in the Big Bend National Park, and people don't burn in there anyways, so.
You comfortable with it down south?
Yeah, I know people have been waiting a long time to burn some stuff. But I always tell them to call you first, just in case.
I've been getting so many calls because of the rain.
Yeah.
It's actually good that you're still getting calls. even-
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure because nobody ever reads the website or listens to me, so I'm gonna still get called.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, now you have a tire burning.
Yeah. The one exception to this, and it's on the bottom of the lifted burn ban, is the exception is within city limits due to city ordinance section 82-2. Burning is prohibited. No person may burn garbage, trash, weeds, grass, brush, tree limbs, building waste, old lumber, or similar materials within city limits and within 5,000 feet of the city limits. And then there's proper places to dispose of that. So that's everything within city limits. So county, yes, city, no.
I'd entertain a motion to lift it for 30 days.
Some would.
Second.
Motion is second, any other discussion?
The burning of goat heads and weeds and stuff with little torches is still okay,
Especially now for 30 days.
if you can get them lit.
Yeah, light
It's killed the ghost.
them. Smoke them while you got them, I guess.
Yeah.
I've got a fresh crop of them, if anybody needs some.
No.
All right, motion on the table to accept a 30-day lift of the burn ban. All in favor, say aye.
Right.
Okay, all right, you got paper for me to sign?
Yeah, give it to Jenny.
Okay.
What else? Oh. Sirens are en route for the fire department and Road and Bridge has their Starlink en route. So
All of them or just one?
just one right now.
So get with James and let's get your truck started. I think, we can do them ourselves, can't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So probably at your shop with a screwdriver and some screws and mount, you can probably put it in yourself. Yeah, get that.
Super simple.
And thank you. And then get rid of your satellite phone.
Bring them in.
Turn them in.
It's a lot cheaper. Any other questions for me?
All right, thank you, James. All right, treasurer's office.
Morning. I don't have anything for A through C.
Okay, yeah, the only thing I have is item 13. I'll take it if you won't mind. 13D. We did this back in the last meeting, but it wasn't real clear. I just need everybody to ratify the salary increase for the jail sergeant. I think we had said it was a jail corporal, didn't we? It was really a jail sergeant.
Some sort of typo.
Yeah, so if you don't mind, I need a motion to ratify that for accounting reasons.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. Discussion. All right, all in favor of ratifying the increase of the jail sergeant as actually previously approved, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then I'm bringing this back. I know y'all just thrilled to see this one. I never could understand this, and finally I got around to reading Local Government Code 114. This is the official report that we're required to look at every month. Roman, y'all looked at it for years, and this is the one we used to read out loud and all that. So we kind of revised it, and this is a summary page, but we do have the actual reports attached as well. If you want to look at those, it's just but this kind of gives you an idea of who's reporting and who's not. So we've got a little work to do. There are some departments that are behind in reporting. And so this will start coming every second of every month in the treasurer's report. Just wanted y'all to see it, but I do need approval to bring it all the way to June.
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second to approve the official monthly revenue report as
I
shown.
think they need to be read out loud so that people that are not reporting can.
We can do that, yeah.
It doesn't do any good this way.
No, let's see, we've got property taxes, 81,526. Other taxes not reported. County attorney 0 on trust account, 0 on ETD. District clerk 11,339.97. She is my most consistent reporting, my district clerk. Precinct number 1, 42,527.40. Reporting consistently. Precinct number 2, 1,435, missed 1, and precinct 3 did not report. So we'll start for elected officials. We'll start asking them to come in and tell us why they're not reporting per the code. Okay. All right. All in favor, accept the report, say aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Brewster County Comptroller, let's do some bills.
Okay, let's look at the receipt register first. That is the payables with purchase orders.
Yep.
The total amount on that packet is $181,047.44. And there is nothing unusual in there, but does anyone have any questions on any items in that packet?
The only thing I wanted to say, Melinda, I want to approve. We'll sort out that thing on that. Well, that's on the other one. Never mind. Forget it. The only question I have is, Johnny, we bought boots $1,200 for the boots?
Yes,
How
sir.
does that work? Do the guys wear them out, they bring them to you and then you take,
Yes, sir, once a year.
and they're steel toe boots?
Mhm.
And you buy them generally at farm store or wherever?
Yes, sir.
They go down, and pick out what they want or?
And I go in and I talk to the order management young lady and she'll give us a discount.
Okay. You buy them all at once or you buy them as they need them or?
No, this time around, I did them all at once.
How long will a pair of boots last, just out of curiosity?
It varies.
Yeah, depends on who's wearing it, I guess.
Yes, sir. And then if they're into the oil or if into the water or mud or something like that.
They got mud boots too,
No, sir.
like rubber boots?
No, sir.
Okay, I don't have anything else.
You want to approve them by packet or?
Yeah, let's go ahead and approve that. So I need a motion to approve the PO, accounts payable with POs.
Second.
Motion is second, discussion, all in favor, say aye. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, the next packet is the payable register that is for payables that do not have POs. That has a total of $284,564.29. I apologize, I'm looking at the wrong page. Make that $364,665.67. And there are a couple of items in that packet that I do want to point out. Within this packet, we are paying the budgeted share of the HILT revenue that we received from the federal government. That is going to be an amount paid to San Vicente of $140,000 and paid to Terlingua CSD of $105,000. And those checks will be going out this afternoon. The other item that we have a little bit of a change that just came up this morning is if you look at page, I believe it's page 7 for the invoice to Cycle Tech. That is shown as $44,100, but after doing a little research, we only owe half of that. So we're going to be making that revision and paying that with the packet that goes out tomorrow.
And that's gonna be to Studio Butte Water Supply.
And that will
not
be
to
going
Cycle
to
Tech.
Studio Butte Water Supply, not to Cycle Tech.
This is that
And half of
generator
the email.
approved in LATCF and we approved to purchase half of it. It came in as the full deal. It turns out they only paid 39,000, we think.
You think?
So it could be half of 39 instead of half of 44, so it might save some money. But
So we wanted to verify that.
yeah, but I just want to make sure, as far as we're concerned, it's approved because it'll be a lesser amount. No one's going to have a problem with
That's
that.
correct.
I don't want to bring it back in here for.
No, it will either be figured out and paid this afternoon or paid tomorrow.
Well, just out of curiosity, what is 405 Ida
405 is Stone Garden.
Stone Garden? All right, I'd entertain a motion.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the POs, the AP with no POs. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, go ahead.
This is just sort of an aside. I have had a conversation with Tyler and apparently some other people have requested the same thing. To be able to figure out a report that sort of combines all of that so that we don't have to do separate reports. But it could be 3 to 6 months before the development team gets that done. So keep your fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
I mean, if we could just even change the headings on these things, it'd be,
All of the above.
but we're getting there. We're getting good practice.
All of it.
All right, let's do recurring payments.
Okay, so recurring payments is in the packet called expense payments from 6/24 to 7/10. These are payments that have been made under prior court approval, $283,176.71. And these are all standard payments. Again, does anybody have any specific questions on those?
Quarles, card, the gas card.
That is, we had a little bit on Corals. This probably, we are gonna have one more billing from Corals before we switch over to completely to the new gas cards.
Yeah, because my Johnny still has it and we've ordered him a black card, the wax
Correct.
card.
And I don't think Johnny Salcedo's guys have it either.
No, I've got to get him set up and then we'll. be there.
Correct. And then, so we've still got a little bit of overlap there between the E-Fleet's Wex card and the Orals card, but that hopefully is gonna get sorted out and finalized 1st of August.
All right, entertain a motion to accept.
Second.
Motion is second, discussion. All in favor of accepting the recurring payments as presented, say aye.
Aye.
All right, lastly, budget adjustment.
Budget adjustments. Okay, this kind of goes to what Preston was mentioning as far as keeping an eye on the budget. We've been doing budget reviews and also, you know, that as items have come in that are, you know, hey, we don't have enough in that line item, we've been making those adjustments. As we're getting to the end of the year, we've been looking at it a little more closely and making some more adjustments. So the first one that we have is one that Robert brought to us for tourism. He simply wants to move $20,000 from one category of advertising to another category. So straight line item adjustment. The second one is to move a payroll amount to the line item to which that payroll is being recorded. It was somehow budgeted on a different line item. And so we're just making a line item adjustment to move that to the correct line. The third one on here, $520, is a line item adjustment to cover some travel expense for the tax assessor. And then we've got a $1,500 adjustment. This is in Fund 250, which is the Elections Administrator's special fund. And it's to cover some travel for some training. And the next one is, again, some line item adjustments within the sheriff's awarded fund to allow him to make some purchases out of that fund. The next two are where it gets a little different. We've been doing a sort of a June 30th budget review to see where we are, and have the rest of these line item adjustments in the next one. That is where we have been able to move line items within various departments pretty much to cover needed expenses. Some of these are simply that the budgeted amount was not sufficient to cover what we're going to incur between now and the end of the year. So these are not necessarily budget adjustments to cover just what we have to date, but what we anticipate spending through the end of September, so that hopefully we don't have to come back and do another adjustment. One of the larger items in here to cover it, we had originally budgeted for some equipment lease payments for the sheriff's office for a couple of trucks, but that is not being used before the end of the year. That will be in the next year. So we are utilizing that, I guess you could call it over budgeted amount or unused budget item to cover a lot of these line item adjustments. So you're seeing some things kind of mixed together.
Y'all remember we were able to buy his vehicles
Out of the grant funds. So we were able to free that up.
Next year won't be that way.
Okay, and then the last one, there were several items. Postage has been relatively higher than what was anticipated. Also the jury expenses, and Sarah and I had talked about this. It's just, there are more cases right now that are actually going to jury trials than getting settled out of court. So our jury expenses, which is payments to the jurors and food for lunch and that kind of thing, has been substantially higher than what was anticipated when we were doing the budget last year. Property insurance has also increased. We got our liability insurance back at the first part of the year, and our property insurance at July the 1st, and we were about $20,000 short on that one. We also just a minor amount on some fees. Another one in cleaning up some of the account receivables and getting the accounts receivable module set up. There was a bad debt write-off that we need to cover in the budget. That's the $18,000. Couple of other smaller amounts, and that resulted in utilizing about $59,000 out of the LATCF fund to cover those budget items.
On that insurance.
Yes, sir.
We got so remember we did it, so that we did an adjustment, we decided to carry the courthouse and the jail at.
It brought it down.
Right, we've gotten that adjustment.
My understanding is, and Julie would,
Make sure we got that adjustment, because it brought it down.
it brought it down substantially, but we were still about $20,000 under budget, or under actual when we looked at the budget. So. And we will probably be doing some more, well, I'm sure we'll be doing some more finalizing on budget adjustments as we go into August and September to get it all cleaned up for year end.
All right, I entertain a motion to accept the budget adjustments. So moved. Motion second, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All right, what else you got, Melinda?
I think that's it. Nothing else for today.
All right, we're rolling. All right, let's do, Brewster County Tourism.
Good morning, everyone. Office is still going well. It's summer, so visitation has slowed for sure. But it's still fairly steady. Folks are saying they're busy, but they're not overwhelmed like they were during spring break. We had a great spring break. We had a board meeting July 6th last week. All went well, nothing major to discuss. We're on point, I guess you could say, with marketing and budget. We're about 25% of the year left, 25% of our budget, more or less. The next meeting for the board will be August 3rd via Zoom. So it'll be an easy one there. Aaron just got back in the States. He's back from Canada. So I sent him to the Calgary Stampede to hit the western portion of Canada, the Alberta area. Great attendance. It's a neat show. The Stampede is basically their giant rodeo. It would be like the Fort Worth Stock Show rodeo, but for Canada. Huge ties to Sul Ross over here, with it being the home of a collegiate rodeo. So they know our area. It was really neat. And this was organized through Travel Texas, the state. So it cost us very minimal, just basically to get him up there. But what happened on this, and I don't know why, I'm kind of assuming it has something to do with the World Cup. I'm not sure, but Houston and Dallas and one more, El Paso, actually. El Paso didn't have anything to do with the World Cup, but the other three backed out. So it was just Aaron representing us and San Antonio at this trip. There's supposed to be 5 partners, only 2. So we got a heck of a good spotlight. In other words, it was basically everything that they talked about there in Canada was San Antonio, Big Bend, San Antonio, Big Bend. So we didn't even have any interference from the other big boys. I don't know why they didn't go, but they just didn't make the trip. We got on Canada's version of Good Morning America, Good Morning Canada. It's not called that, but they got on the morning show there. They had about 27 journalists that showed up to actually do a one-on-one day to talk about the Big Bend in San Antonio. And so a lot of great response from that so far. And next time I'll try and put it on a USB. I couldn't download it. There's actually a video segment that they have from that morning show. I'll see if I can somehow download it and have them show it here at court next time. State fair prep is set and ready. We got our workers set and ready to go. Prep has begun. The only other odd thing that happened, and I'm sure all of you know, the South County Visitor Center, we had a little bit of a dust devil, a storm, wind shear. It blew the roof off of our patio area where the seating. So that's been cleaned up. There's no plans to rebuild it since we're prepping to actually build a visitor center. So it'll just be left alone. But that's really it that has been happening as far as the office goes.
Okay, good. And hopefully the rain will bring the water up for the outfitters. All right, you've got a, no pun intended, a raft of agreements here. Anything particular? Well, it looks like all straightforward.
Yes, sir. They're all straightforward. The standard stuff we do for USA Today. These are just pre-booking for next year. The Cumulus radio campaign in Fort Worth. The neat thing about that is the afternoon drive guy, Corby Davidson, already comes here. He loves the Big Bend. He brought his son for spring break and he posted a bunch of videos and social media stuff because he has a following as well as being on radio up there. And their powers that be had the idea, hey, why don't we ask Big Bend if they want to have him as a testimonial? So this guy's super popular in the DFW area, but he's going to actually do our testimonial for it as part of the campaign. It's just a standard campaign, but it's going to be, he's going to be, hey, I'm Corby. I went to the Big Bend. Da, 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 da. So it's going to be something different to do, not just a standard radio commercial that come see the Big Bend. So that'll be a real neat one. The next one is this Texas Monthly, their fall travel. In fall travel, they'll have a focus on the Rio Grande, not just our area, but all of the Rio Grande. They're just talking about rivers in Texas, but they're gonna have one section on the Rio Grande. So took advantage of that, got a great deal. 8,000 per page in Texas Monthly is cheap. And the last is just a digital TV campaign and also traditional TV campaign. It says San Angelo, that's a little bit of a misnomer. I'm just using my sales rep from San Angelo to handle all of this, so I don't have to go to each market. So it'll be real TV commercials, just standard TV stuff in San Angelo. But the same big company owns the stations in Abilene and Midland, Odessa. So digitally, via, the Hulu, Prime, anything on air, on the internet that's streamed, that campaign will run through all those markets as well. It's just all going through the San Angelo station. So it's both digital, over the top television, and regular, but that's just the 4 standard stuff.
I'd entertain a motion to just approve all these at one block.
Someone.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. Any discussion about any of these contracts? All right, all in favor, say aye. Okay, you're done, Robert.
Thank you much. Appreciate it.
All right, let's move on to the second most exciting thing today, besides the bankers. It's a joke. Let's do budgets. In front of you is your binder.
Can't move them to the front so we can get things that don't.
Nah, because I've got. Well, we could do it. So we can reverse it if you want to. Neither one's going.
Well, I mean, I don't know. They've done set for the whole meeting. Don't think we can.
Yeah, we can switch that. Let's do budget last. Let's take a 5-minute recess. And then you guys can make your presentations, okay? So I'm gonna call a 5-minute recess while we talk about getting y'all set up. Okay?
Agree.
Is somebody missing?
Yes, Trans-Pecos.
Did I hear it?
Yeah.
What time is it?
10:33.
Well, then, there's your problem, because we're gonna get, I told them I didn't think we'd be done to them till about 11. So let's go ahead and do budget.
Okay.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Otherwise, we'll be waiting anyway. All right, let's go to, so a couple of things real quick. Look at, item tab number 1. I just wanted y'all to be aware of this taxpayer impact statement that we're now required to do anytime we have a budget workshop. This was the brainchild of our legislature. We don't really know what it means, but you have to take the median property, not the average property, but the median. They list all properties, make the middle. And then you have to figure out, based on your current tax rate, how much taxes they pay. And that's what they pay. That's what the median property. And as we adopt the next rates, we'll add those boxes. So just, anybody ask you what this is, it's just a disclosure that's now required anytime we do a workshop.
Put it on the website, so
On the website, we had to post it out on the
outside.
outside with the agenda. Okay, number 2, the tab 2 is the budget. And we've got it. We're at the point now where I need to have some thoughts from you guys. We've got it whittled down. Let me find it real quick. If you go to page 21, we've got a $2,000 deficit based on our current projections but this budget does not have salary increases in it, right, which we need to talk about. I mean, I will tell you, you cannot run any business, in my opinion, by cutting expenses. You can cut expenses, and expenses are important to watch. But if you don't drive the revenue train, you ain't gonna stay in business very long. And that's part of our problem, is we really had to watch expenses. We're gonna really have to watch them this next year. In terms of, because our revenue is just not growing. We expect some increase in our ad valorem from 4.9, and we did hit that this year, to 5.1. But we don't see any growth in sales tax at all. We see maybe a little bit of growth in our tax collection fees. We'll go up in those. We haven't done that in, I don't know, since Eisenhower was president, so we need to do those. But that's not a lot of money. PILT has come in at 1.67, so that was helpful this year. But that we
never know about that.
never know. We anticipate it'll stay about 1.6 now. And really after that, other than interest on our funds, the rest of it is pretty small dollars. Now, if we could we could, find another source of revenue, that'd be wonderful, but that's what's driving the budget this year. A couple of things, hot spots that I need y'all to be aware of expense wise this year is, the jury trials. We've already talked about that. We've had to increase jury trial budget this year. Judge told me this morning, he's got 2 that settled. He had 4 where he's got 2 settled, but once he puts pressure on them, all of a sudden they settle.
Saves everybody money.
Pressure away.
You got it.
The other issue, obviously, the other thing we need to talk about a little bit today is kind of the direction we want to go in terms of raises. And then ongoing maintenance and repairs. Those are the big 3. We've done a good job in the last couple of years of fixing things and cleaning things up and repairing things and air conditioners, but guys, it never ends and we can't ignore it, or we're just gonna have, all we're doing is kicking the can down the road. I mean, right now, our roof at the station in Terlingwood is leaking like a sieve. So we're getting that fixed and.
See what happens when it rains?
Yeah, we
Well,
we never know what's gonna do when it rains. We've got to get her office fixed. That's on the agenda to get your office fixed. So just things like that we've got to take care of. We had a little plumbing problem at the courthouse the other day, wasn't much, but got a little leak in the parking lot, just on and on, right?
Hey, Judge, you might have mentioned it and I missed it, but what about our, the sheriff's department with the housing prisoners? Do we expect the same amount of money there or?
Yeah, we budgeted this year, Mo, let's see what I put in there this year. We budgeted, 350. He's at 393, so he's over his budget this year. We've had everything in there. When we first started, it was 750. We didn't get close to that.
Yeah.
I cut it back over the years to 350. That's probably about where it'll be.
Okay.
I mean, we're gonna be over this year on that. But I'm hesitant to go up. I probably could find 50,000 and call it 400, but it's fickle, very fickle. One minute he's got lots of prisoners and then next minute he doesn't.
Well, then one of those counties pulls out.
Yeah, where he's making his bank right now is on the Marshall, U.S. Marshall prison. So they pay the best rate.
Yeah, but they're not consistent.
No, they can change in a heartbeat. And so I think 350 is probably as far as we can push the envelope. So a couple of other items on expense control, some of it's fiddling, obviously travel. I think we have to spend some money on elected officials have to meet their continuing ed needs. But I think we could watch travel a little bit. I mean, this may be the year where we just have elected officials get their CE, but that's about it. And I know some departments want to take their staff, and I get it because the staff gets trained as well, but that's a dollar amount we really want to. But again, you can count pencils till you're blue in the face, and it's, all it does is make everybody mad, and you save nickels and dimes, but I guess that's how you do it over the long run. The other thing I wanted to bounce off you guys was we have a longevity pay. It's $100 a year. We pay it over 26 payments, so it's $5 a paycheck.
No, we pay longevity.
Oh, you did it one, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
One idea would be to change longevity to 5, 10, 15, and 20. Just
So bracket.
so you bracket, so you're awarded 5 years, 10 years, 15 years as opposed to every year. Just a thought. It's not a lot of money, but it might. So if somebody stays with us 1 or 2 years, they didn't get anything, but if they stayed 5 years, they'd get $500. So it's just something to think about. These are just ideas. The field payments, you guys will go to page. Page 7. We've got 2 PILT payments. This is really not a savings. This is just a reshuffling. We've been paying San Vicente 10% and Terlingua 5% for a total of 15. This year we did 7.5 each, I think, right, Melinda?
Not for the current year payments.
Not for the current year. Okay. So we're talking about, I guess one of the things I want to talk to y'all about is Terlingua has 140 students. San Vicente has 6. To me, the numbers are backwards, and I've talked to them. I would like to consider either splitting that baby to 7.5 each or flipping it back to 10-5 with the Terlingua school getting the lion's share of that. Now, I've not talked recently to the San Vicente school, but the San Vicente school they get paid from the state. Even though they only have 6 students, they get, what did I say, 35 students is what they get paid based on or something.
I thought it was
Federal.
federal, and I thought it was 100.
Yeah, Ruben, I looked into it. I mean, it's not an issue for the national park. National Park can take it or leave it. So just for in fairness, I just don't know why we're not taking care of our Terlingua school with the bulk of our kids. So something want y'all to think about. I would like to reverse it in 27.
Well, and the other consideration, I think, is that even if you've got kids in the park, if they're over 8th grade, they're gonna be going to Terlingua anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know what the age bracket is.
Well, they just started a high school.
When they did?
Yeah, and that was the other issue. They had 1 student in the high school.
One.
Oh, I was unaware of that.
Anyway, that's just something to think about. It doesn't change our budget. It just moves it around a little bit. But it bothers me that we're not taking care of our biggest school down there. So, that's really it. I'll clean up the $2,000 deficit. That brings us to tab number 5. If you go to 5, and let's talk a little bit about payroll. So the first sheet, kind of going in different order here, but the first sheet, if you look at, this is all of the hourly employees in the county. Second sheet behind that is all of our department heads. Okay, and then the third sheet is you guys. So if you do a 5% increase, you're going to, if you got to look at that 220, you got to see that 226.06.45 on the first page. On your hourly employees, that's with benefits. That will raise expenses 220,000, but you're gonna have to go to the second page and add the 24,000 for the salaried employees. So 24 plus 220, call it 250 is what it's gonna, this is including all benefits. So we're covered there. So to give a 5% increase will cost about $250,000 to the county. If you add the elected officials in there, that's another 43,000. And elected officials at 5%, and that takes you on up to about 290, 295. So here's the question: where are we getting it? Where are we getting it? Can we just rain it out of the sky? Sarah, can you generate about 250,000 in court fees for me? Maybe you and Sarah together. I know, I'm just teasing you, but the point is, so where do we get it? So here's how we get it. We got that money in bills right now.
Okay.
We can take it out of bills and pay the payroll. I think we're gonna end up with a surplus of about that amount if all things go right. And it always seems like we spend money like wild monkeys right towards the end of the year, but I think that we're gonna be right around, don't put wild monkeys in the paper, please. I think we're gonna end up with a surplus that will roughly equate what we're gonna give in raises. But we won't know until October what our surplus is. What we had a pretty good surplus last year. I think we'll do all right again this year at the rate we're going. So what we could do is we could use PILT for the raises. If we have a surplus, that's obviously going to go into our reserve, which comes out. We're going to talk a little bit about taking some money out of reserve this year. But let's focus on raises. So that's kind of my math is we use the PILT to take care of the raises. We use our surplus to take care of capital expenditures, which is what surplus should be used for. And we solved the raise issue. The thing that worries me is, but looking forward, is that you can't do this every year. And you don't have Phil next year, Phil's gone.
Could happen.
And so, we've got to be thinking a little bit further down the line. You see a 3%. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if you're gonna give the employees a 1%, you might as well just not give them anything. So it's, 3%, 5% would be sort of the range there. Now, let me show you one other chart. If you'll go to tab number 3, excuse me, tab number 4. So the finance group, Patty particularly, but Melinda and I, we had not upgraded our county salary scale in some time. Okay, obviously, hourly wages have risen since the pandemic. And so our whole salary scale needed to be updated. So this is a proposed salary scale that updates. It's kind of getting rid of the stepping problem. It basically has a minimum and a maximum and a midpoint. And the way this would work is you take the midpoint. Okay, you take the midpoint of everybody's categories and you multiply that by your percentage raise. That comes up with a number, and that's what everybody gets. Okay, that's how the raises would be done. What happens is that your lower level folks that make less money will get a higher percentage in raises, whereas your higher paid people won't get as high a percentage. So if you took 4.5% of the midpoint on all those, it still costs you $250,000. But your smaller salary people will get a little bigger increase as a percentage of their wages than the higher paid folks, which is kind of what we did a couple of years ago. Remember, we gave $1,500, same idea, but using the salary scale. We'd like to adopt this salary scale as part of the budget. So we have we've kind of gotten way out of our salary scale. Like to bring this back in line. I'm going to create a salary committee made up of me and one of you guys and a couple other elected officials, and it'll rotate every year. And that salary committee is sort of going to be charged with policy decisions and recommendations to us about wages. I mean, I have a pie chart. Wages are, I don't know a business that doesn't have this problem, but wages are 57% of our total expenditures. So, out of our general fund. And so it's a constant problem. It's in any industry, wages is always a challenge. Well, we got good people working really hard, doing a good job. I don't know how we reward them for their work. One could argue that we don't have a merit system here, so everybody gets it. I think trying to implement a merit system right now would be very difficult for us, but there's some advantages to that. So my question to you guys is where you want to. Well, this is not the final budget. We got some more work to do on it. We may be able to, when the tax values come out on the 25th of this month, we may be able to ratchet our ad valorem up a little bit more. And if that happens, that'll help us on the revenue side. Pat, do you want to add anything on the salary scale?
Really, this question on how it works. It's a little bit different than what we've seen in the past. Kind of had in the past with the step system. So you went from step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. And sometimes in the past, or the step 3, so everybody on the step is right. This particular type of salary schedule gives you the maximum flexibility when it comes to budget. What you decide to support is what percentage are we going to apply to this scale. Or I'm taking this step until I go. So this particular salary schedule will give you as the court the maximum flexibility when it comes to budgeting for raises. With a step system, it was locked into a certain percentage to go from this step to this step was a certain percentage. With this one, you as the court decide this is the percentage that we can afford. And then it's applied in this schedule and everybody within that scale gets that same amount. And they're brought up together. The other thing it allows you to do is review it every year, every 2 years, however you want to do it, and look at the beginning wage and try to determine, okay, are we still competitive within the community? Is the beginning wage that we're offering competitive with everybody else in the county? Do we need to up it because we're no longer competitive? And that's something we weren't keeping up to date on the old schedule. We weren't revising it on a regular basis to make sure we stayed competitive.
If you just, an example, look under the law enforcement box, L5, if you're a brand new deputy right out of school with your T-close license, you're gonna start at 23.70. And then if you come in, you've got 5 or 10 years experience, then the most you could make would be 35.57. You'd probably start somewhere above 23.71, but somewhere below the midpoint. That's how this would work.
So the other thing that'll go along with this when the scale is presented to you will be also the procedures. How you bring people in, how you give raises, how you do promotions, how we upgrade, what flexibility an elected official would have to bring somebody in above the minimum. So all of that, we're going to write up in a procedure. So we have that documented going forward. And so we keep this in line and consistent. We don't have things getting crossways and somebody with 1 year experience making more than somebody with 10 years of experience, you know, that kind of thing. So those two things will go hand in hand.
So kind of throwing that in and then the salary increase, what is the court's plan? Where are we missing something we don't want? What do you want us to look at? We've got some good news is we'll add a schedule on our budget. I think we'll certainly have our budget approved by mid-August, at the rate we're going. We screamed and yelled in finance meetings over dollars for a while now. We cut back maintenance and repairs a little bit this year. No, I want to continue to focus on maintenance and repairs. We've had to cut back that. One of the other things, guys, that I want to do is I want to take, we have roughly $8.4 million in reserve. This year, I want to take out $1 million out of our reserve. And I want to restrict it. I want to put 300,000 in road and bridge. I want to put 100,000 in the general fund for contingency. So if Melinda and I have a out of budget thing, we've got a contingent line we can move it from. Then I want to put $600,000 in a capital projects fund. Now, do I have a capital projects fund in front of me? No, but I want to go ahead and segregate that. We may not use it, but we've got the reserves. That's what the reserves should be used for. We would have the money to do a project that you and I have been talking about, for example, or whatever that might be. So I also want to talk to y'all about it, pulling some money out of reserve and earmarking it. Now, what I want to talk to you about is when we pull out, we balance our budget to zero. When we have a savings account over here. Unfortunately, the way accounting works is when you and I take money of our personal savings to buy a car, we don't charge it to our expense. We just go buy the car with it. And the way the fund accounting works is I take $1 million out of my savings. I charge it over here. So it looks like I've got a deficit budget, but I don't. I've got a zero budget. Unless we go crazy and overspend, got a zero budget. The way the accounting works, it looks like. So it tends to get people excited because it looks like we're running a deficit budget, but we're not. We're actually taking money out of our savings account. I know that's simple, but for the average person that reads it, it's like, oh my God, county's got a deficit. No, we don't. In fact, we're actually very fortunate that we have the liquidity that we do. we have a whole year's worth of liquidity. So I'll quit talking. Jim, what do you want to do?
I think it's a great idea. We have it, you know. Aside from the fact that it may not look what people think on the balance sheet, I think is.
Raises?
Big, big ones. That's something else.
Thoughts? Sarah? You've got really three things in front of you. The reserve, salary, raise.
Yeah.
Salary standpoint.
Yeah, the salary scale, I was a bit confused, but Patty explained it very well, so I'm more comfortable with the new salary schedule, excuse me. As far as raises go, I'm always in favor of taking care of our people because nothing's getting cheaper outside, you know, not gas, not groceries, not nothing. I like the point you made about we are anticipating a surplus, thank you. We're anticipating a surplus this year. So the fact that we're tying that to our planning for next year's salaries, I think is a good way to frame it for incentivizing all county departments to watch their budgets. Because if we have a surplus, that means that it's more likely to have raises next year. I think that is a good comparison to draw. So those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, if we come in with surpluses, then I feel good about taking money out of our LATCF to do it, but it's gonna take some work on all our parts to watch our.
It always
expenses.
does,
Yeah.
always does.
Ruben, thoughts?
I agree. I mean, just gotta take care of what we got.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're looking at more buildings, but we're looking at more buildings, older buildings, and I think the maintenance is, we really ought to look at that pretty hard.
I mean, you and I both talk about how happy we've been about getting some projects. The LATCF has really helped us.
You've had the foresight to see ahead and on stuff that's 15, 18 years, it's still working, but you know that at any day it's done.
Yeah.
And the ability to have that money to upgrade our stuff is it's gonna be a game changer, especially a few years further.
Yeah, when we don't have those surprises.
When we don't have, yes. And hopefully we don't have a whole lot of surprises. As far as the raises, yes. I'm happy with that. 5%.
Commissioner Morrow?
Just a question, if we bring out $1 million and set it aside for some kind of capital, if we, for some reason, don't use it, do we,
Put it right back in reserve
and that's,
or carry it to the next year or however we want to do
Okay.
it. Yeah.
there's no strings attached to that?
No, and I think we would restrict it. We put 100,000 as a contingency line in the budget. That just kind of covers this in case we miss something. We put 300 in road and bridge, and God knows we need money in road and bridge. Okay,
You do.
and that's gonna give him, he and Johnny, money to get these roads working. We can put more in there if you guys wanted to, and then 600, we could actually say, oh, we need a couple of 100,000 more next year in the middle of the year and move that 600 to road and bridge. But I was gonna take the 600 and put it in, I would call it a capital projects fund. And from there, we could put it wherever we wanted it. I think as long as we stay focused that we are not covering operating losses. One thing I learned as a banker is you don't fund operating losses, right, guys?
Yeah.
Right? If somebody comes to you and wants to borrow money for their losses, that's a no-go. We cannot, it makes me nervous that we can't get in the habit of saying, well, we're short, let's take it out of reserve. That's how we get in trouble. So, but that, yes, to answer your question, we can take that 600, and if we didn't spend it, it goes right back in reserve. So based on what I'm hearing, then I'll go back and revise the budget to zero. From 2009 to zero, and I will put in a 5% raise. I will put in a $1 million reserve allocation, broken up like we talked about. Patty and I will finish up the policies and procedures on the new salary program. And we will go dig under the courthouse and see if we can find some gold bars.
I think you'll only find making pipes.
You don't have a billion over there.
No. Leaky pipes.
Is that, we gotta do 2 fires. Does that work for everybody? I'll come back in 2 weeks. I
That's
don't,
not set in stone yet, but it's, you gotta work it, yeah.
we'll play with some numbers. I don't think we need a special meeting next week. We'll come back in 2 weeks with all this cleaned up and another round to present. Any,
We have to take care of those people that are fixing those leaky pipes.
that's
Yeah.
correct.
Cause yeah, the leaky pipe's worse if you don't have anybody to fix it.
There's one big elephant in the room. That's the elected officials.
And we need to.
Put it in there.
This set of elected officials?
Well, there's a couple of them out there in the.
You know, the sheriff.
Mhm.
Yeah, on Ronnie's bad side.
There's one over there. She's giving us the evil eye. I tell her,
Oh, yeah, put it in there.
I'm gonna put it in there and we'll look at it
See
on
how it
the,
runs, yeah.
Yeah.
we can always take that out of the district clerk's budget. Okay. We got a, in there. We have a mission.
More numbers.
Okay. Thank y'all. I
Thank you for
appreciate
your
it.
work. Very good.
Yeah. For sure.
You should, anybody's welcome to come to our finance meetings. It's quite lively.
We have one tomorrow afternoon. So,
Only one of y'all though.
Yeah, only one
yeah,
of us.
just one.
I can take turns.
By the way, we do have 337,000 in the LAPCF, so if we spent, even if we spent the full 290, we'd have a little bit left in LATCM, so. But we should be okay there. All right, bankers, let's do a depository. So what we thought we'd do is have y'all just draw straws. Isaiah, you've got me covered? Okay, so Isaiah's gonna take y'all out, y'all draw straws, and you have up to 20 minutes, just we wanna ask you some questions and make a presentation, and we'll get out. Well, here's the way we're gonna take presentations from each of you. We're gonna score it. We have a scoring sheet. We're gonna score it. We'll take a 10-minute break, tally the scores, make a decision. Is that fair enough? So the questions are the same for all of you. I think it'll go pretty quickly. Don't feel like you have to talk 20 minutes if you want to, because I know you're bored out of your mind already. So Isaiah, why don't you give them the numbers, let them draw out of the hat.
There's a score sheet. It's in there somewhere.
Do we have the other bank here yet?
I emailed them, but no response yet.
All right. As y'all have packets in front of you, don't know who's gonna go first, but there's a scoring sheet.
Maybe be same.
Where is it? Right behind it?
You know, there's a scoring sheet right behind it. You don't need that top. That top page just gives you an idea how to score.
There you go.
And then you got a score sheet. All right, I just need y'all to, and I've got a series of questions that I'm gonna ask you.
Because sometimes
Oh.
I think the thickest packet.
They're waiting, we are waiting with Tammy from
Provide us this?
Yeah, that's their presentation, I assume.
Okay.
Judge Maverick.
We do have a response from the third one.
Where are they?
We are waiting with Tammy from West Texas National Bank.
We mean on the Zoom?
What?
Must be in the court.
Patty and Isaiah got it.
Are they outside? Okay.
Everybody good on the scoring sheet?
Right.
Right behind the first sheet. And there's one for each packet.
Mhm.
Okay. And it's gonna be the 5 of us, and Julie and Melinda are also gonna score. So we'll take 7 scores and calculate it. And I wanted Julie and Melinda to score as well, because they're the ones that have to live with this.
Yes.
Can we take like a 3-minute break?
Yes, sir. Let's take a 5-minute recess. Now let's get started. Looks like West Texas National Bank is the first up. All right, and give us your pitch, and then we've got a few questions.
Handouts that are, the statement of condition is put out every quarter. So the one y'all got is from March. This one's as of June 30th. And it's got the schedule of fees of an investment report. So, this is Tammy Hicks. She's our branch manager. And the new branch manager, Linda Lassiter, is still with us. She's in treasury management, who actually is gonna handle a lot of this type of stuff, so. But anyway, West Texas National Bank was founded in 1904. We're one of the oldest continually running businesses in Brewster County. And, overall, in West Texas, we handle about 600 million in public funds. So it's a line of business that we like, and it's a line of business that we're very well versed and good at. So I will say interest rate on county funds were in your packet. You're going to see 80% of the 13-week T-bill, which as of the first of the month would have been 2.99, and I was able to up that to 85%. So as of the first of the month, you're going to be looking at 3.18, and I do have a signed addendum that I can give to y'all, and that will be the one that, if chosen, that will be the one that we submit.
Okay.
So I'll give that to you.
So that's 85% of the 13-week treasury.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
It's in there.
Right.
But other than that, it's totally free. We don't charge you for anything. The only fee you're gonna see on that fee schedule is if the county writes a hot check, and I don't foresee that ever happening. So, and if it does, I'll refund it anyway, so.
Let me ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
Real quick. Let's talk about, this is no particular order. Let's talk about securities.
Okay.
All right. You guys can pledge 110% of the average amount on deposit.
Yes.
And you can keep that 110% stable on a month-to-month basis.
Yes.
Y'all are gonna pledge securities. You're gonna pledge a letter of credit, both. How you?
Historically, like the funds that y'all have with us currently, that still remain our letter of credit. We are moving over to securities for one reason. It's a little, the fees are a little less, so it's kind of good for everybody. And we go after securities that are highly liquid. So we may be giving up some earnings on the securities we pledge, but if something happened, they're very reputable and we can cash them in.
Do y'all use a custodian?
I'm not exactly sure which one it is, but it is a third party.
And then who's trading them for you? Is it you have your own in-house traders or?
No, it's a third party.
Okay. All right, so 110%. I mean, I will tell you, and I'll speak just for the court. There's banks over the years have traditionally have always pledged liquid government securities to the deposits. And our number one goal for county money is safety. It's not rate, it's not return, it's safety and liquidity. So if something happens, we would be up the creek if we couldn't turn to our taxpayers and say, we still have $6 million in the bank, right? So we traditionally use treasury bills, Fannie Mae's, Freddie Mac's, those kinds of real liquid securities that can trade in the market fast, banker purchase agreements, that sort of thing. Banks have been able to pledge letters of credit. The problem is I never know when I have a box of securities in front of me, I know exactly what's pledged.
Mm-hmm.
When I have a letter of credit, I don't know how much of that letter of credit's been allocated to your other public funds.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you keep track of that? And my worry is that, well, first of all, if we ever get to the point where we're having to liquidate securities, we're all in trouble. There's no doubt about that. I don't know that I trust the Federal Home Loan Bank Board as far as I can throw them in terms of their honoring a letter of credit. And so I'd really like, this is me speaking, I really like this full of securities. So,
all securities are, that we, all the municipals are from Texas municipalities. We
You don't
do
have
any
a
other
sample of your monthly report that you would can't give us on your investment portfolio?
I have the investment report that we have currently invested in that packet that I gave you in the folder,
Okay,
but, it's not a sample like we would provide on the particular, your particular.
but every month Julie would get, here's your position.
No,
Okay, here's what you got on hand, here's your securities position.
Yep.
Okay. All right, and then, interest rate, we've already talked about that. You're at 85% of 13-week treasury bill. And is that just posted to the bank statement? So how?
yeah, I should have brought a sample, but yeah, you'll get that on bank statement.
Is that by fund, how do they do that? By account? By bank?
account.
Okay, so it's not lumped together, it's,
Mm.
okay. All right. We can get bank statements electronically, obviously, right? Okay, and, how fast do you get your bank statements out?
Let's see, what would you think? Probably a few days.
Yeah.
You should be able to see them electronically a lot quicker than that.
In my experience is that electronically, they're there almost the next.
Yeah, they should be, yeah.
Which is all, Melinda, correct me if I'm wrong, electronic is your main, you want paper statements?
I know Julie wants paper statements. I like to get the electronic statements as quickly as possible because it just allows us to get started on our bank reconciliations rather than having to wait for mailed.
So you got electronic the day after the month closed, but you didn't get the bank statements for 2 or 3 days. That would.
Not a problem.
I will say one thing, something I always have to talk with Julie on the Brewster County Historical Commission is you will be able to see your images of what the charge actually was. If we have something on our statement for that, then I always have to ask her what it is.
Right, yeah.
And when we get the bank statement, all the checks will be truncated and we can see all the canceled checks. So that's a big deal.
You know, on the web, you know, on the online banking, you just click the line and it pops up an image of the check.
Indeed, but the paper copies that Julie gets has copies of all of the images. Thank you.
So Julie has an issue or Melinda has an issue. Who's the primary contact?
Me and Tammy, and you'll have both of our cell phones in that folder.
We just call Tammy, go ahead.
Most of you already have our cell phones, but you know,
And no matter.
they're there again.
No matter, yeah,
That's better than Tammy calling you. I want
okay.
to advise you on that.
So that's basically one stop. We call her, if it's investments, but it's not her world, she can go find out the answer.
You know, most of the investment, you know, our CFO handles a lot of that stuff and he's very knowledgeable. He's very quick. If we need something, we can get it.
And
Yeah,
then y'all's cutoff time for deposits, physical at the bank, bringing them to you is what time?
we close the drive-throughs at 6.
So, but they won't, when will they hit the same day versus the next day?
Pretty much everything with electronic stuff now, they're pretty much going to post that same day. You know, of course, anything that happens on Saturday or Sunday, you'll post on Monday. Or Saturday, Sunday, Monday, post on Monday.
Sure. What about the night deposit? We deposit it after hours, it goes to the next day, right?
Yep.
That's correct. Any fraud prevention programs that we ought to be aware of that you?
You know, we have anything you could think of, we have available to us. Also positive pay if you need to review them before they go
Does
out.
positive pay appeal to y'all at all? Is that just too cumbersome?
We're willing to look at it.
I will say, usually when that comes up, it's like, for instance, Slow Ross at one time had somebody got a copy of their checks. And, you know, it's not like, you know, if me or Tammy, we had fraud in our account, we restrict it. You can't do that for what, for instance, Brewster County or the university or the school district or whatever. So, that's where that comes into play. I don't know that I would recommend doing it if you don't have a reason to. But if you do have a reason to do it, it is there.
How much time would you give us to report fraud if we feel like
Yeah,
so?
I think it's something like 30 days. I mean, y'all stay on top of things, so we'll take care of y'all however we need to.
When we set up the accounts, I'm sure there's, with the laws these days, there's like 9,000 pieces of paper. Can we do it electronically or is it all paper still?
We can do it electronically. The deal is y'all still have bank accounts with us. So, and the people who sign your checks y'all don't really have the turnaround. So a lot of that should stay the same. We may need an updated copy of an ID or something if they're expired. But other than that, that's pretty much all. We can do a DocuSign or we can
Just
hand deliver them to you.
Or just have a signing party. So
Yeah, like for instance, for the city, they just changed some signers and we just, we did the work and we took it to them and get their signers to sign and then we can either pick it up or they drop it off. Or we can do DocuSign as well.
Bill, I don't see us ever having an NSF. We shouldn't. I mean, somebody gonna have to explain why we would write it in it. I could see occasionally we forget to transfer the money or we send it to the wrong account. I think it's pretty clear we've got plenty of money. Would you guys be willing to say, okay, from time to time, if that was to happen, you wouldn't charge us the $30?
That is totally up to me. It's an automatic charge that I'll refund if it should ever happen.
I mean, there'll be a lot of yelling and screaming at the judge's office.
Yeah, I'm probably, I don't know, I may be too easy on refunding overdraft fees, but yeah, I tend to. It's not necessarily the way.
You're reasonable.
It's not necessarily the way I like to make money that way.
And so there are no fees for wire transfers, stop payments, cash. What about cashier's checks?
We don't charge you for anything.
And what about return checks? Somebody deposits it.
You won't get charged for that either.
I like the no fee thing. Thank you.
Can I ask a question going back to the fraud question? With perchance a duplicate check number comes through, how do y'all screen for those and make sure that we don't?
We'll get a notification and then we'll call y'all and say, was this an error or was this?
So you would actually make a call at the time that second check went through? I thank you.
And I mean, not necessarily on the county wise, but it happens a lot now that a lot of people order checks on their own. Sometimes they get the check numbers mixed up and, most of the time when that happens, we'll offer to, comp a new book of checks for, personal. I mean, I wouldn't think that any of the municipalities would really have that issue, but if so, checks are free too. So whatever we got to do is pretty much free.
Okay, I think any other cash management services that we think we might be.
I know we do have remote deposit capture. If y'all wanted to run deposits, or if y'all had somewhere down south that wanted to run deposits, of course we do have the branch down south. Branch manager down there is going to retire at the end of the year, so we'll have a new branch manager down there. We offer what everybody else offers, and it'll be free to you. We also
looked at that. We weren't ready for it. I'm not sure. But if we scan those deposits, use the machine today, let's say we do it at 10 o'clock in the morning, it would hit the bank and then
the same day.
Same day.
The only way I could see somebody really benefiting from that, is of course we have a branch here, we have a branch down south. Like for instance, Marathon ISD banks with us. I could see that be a benefit to them. Because they don't have to drive in to make a deposit. Of course, you can't deposit cash. So if you're running a concession stand or something like that, then that's something. But you could run check, and that's free. And we offer the first one of those for free. We can, if y'all need a safe deposit box, we have those, and first one of those is free. So pretty much anything you can think of is free.
Question over there.
I did currently stop taking personal checks. Do you offer them at all?
Are you talking about?
It was a suggestion from one of the Facebook posts where, you could get a check in straight to the public to make sure that it was good. And you kind of
Oh, you're talking about turning something into electronic check.
something.
We could look into that. I don't know that anybody out here has one of those. You know, it is, that hasn't really caught on overall.
There's that delay whenever my checks go in, that before I get notified. So I have to start running down who actually purchased it.
Yeah, you know, one thing a lot of people do is, if, you know, if it's like, if it's a check on us, you'll know immediately if it's bad. You know, we don't necessarily have one, what, I know what you're talking about, but, that really hasn't caught on a commercial scale.
Yeah,
quite yet.
something to offer, like instead of having to stop for some benefit. It's not effective anymore.
Do you have that many, personal checks that are bouncing?
I. On. The month before, but because it takes so long, I couldn't go to it, you can try to find it. But I do have it,
You know,
Trying to find what?
where it goes to.
Oh.
Because then we do such a range of different. Different things, not different ones.
I don't want to delay. Okay, one last question, Phil, just make sure I'm clear on it. You guys are moving to pledging securities for those deposits?
yeah, Brewster County will be all security.
All security.
We haven't fully gone overall to that yet, but you know, that's what y'all have requested, and that y'all will be all 100% securities.
Perfect. All right, any other questions for them? Yeah, well. No, I'm good. Thank you. Okay, thank y'all very much.
Thank y'all.
Appreciate coming. Good seeing you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All I need of you guys is your raw score.
Do what?
Just add up your raw score and put it at the bottom. I'll let Patty calculate it.
We don't have to calculate her.
Yeah, well, let Isaiah and Patty do that. Okay. Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, goodness gracious. I'm into court today for real.
Yeah, you sat through the whole thing. Are y'all brain dead yet?
No.
Okay. All right, Maverick Bank is next.
Be all a minute. You should have a fine professionally printed bid package of Joanna to thank for that. Joanna's not here today, however, she's in Austria, so she's.
Yeah, it was easy to read.
There we go.
All right, I've got some questions for you, but if you want to kind of introduce and.
I'd be happy to introduce, and I got a couple things just to hand y'all as I get to them. My name is Michael Eisenwine. I'm the Big Bend Regional President for Maverick Bank. I've been in Alpine for about 2 years now. I've been a proud resident of your county for about 2 years and banked with Maverick for about 2 years. I'm joined here by Stacy Wood. She's a longtime resident of your county.
Never seen her before.
Odds are you might not have seen me, but you've definitely seen her. Maverick Bank, I'm proud to be part of Maverick Bank. I'm really here because I wanted to work for Maverick Bank. I've worked for the people that are part of that in the past. And so when they needed somebody out here, I jumped at the chance to work for them and get to live here. And so I think that's a little bit of a unique story there.
Maverick Bank, like the judge, I've got a heart for local emergency services. I am a member of the Alpine Volunteer Fire Department. I am a licensed emergency medical technician. I haven't really done much of that since we've got a private service. However, as we switch to a public service, I'd like to be a little involved there. Yeah, yes, I know Brad quite well. And so that's a little bit about me. The things I'm going to talk about first, just to kind of, we're going to look at the numbers. We're going to have your standard questions, but I think maybe even particular for this depository, it's going to be the little things that I think are going to make a difference, maybe, as opposed to just, hey, we look at that page 19 and 20, which we'll do that in just a minute. Maverick Bank, one thing I'm proud of is we're engaged in traditional banking. We're a traditional community bank. I think the fact that here in Brewster County, having Stacy and I as employees, along with Joanna and my other employees here, just shows a commitment to helping at that local level. We're not just a lightly staffed branch here with everything coming from out of town. We've got a lot of good people right here in Brewster County. We do a lot with collateral monitoring. We want to make sure this is usually just the bread and butter of public funds, although we take it very seriously. I'm going to come back to that, but we also are going to have dedicated customer service for the county. Joanna Wells, one thing we're doing, Maverick's growing in the county. I've hired Stacy since I've been on in 2 years. We've hired Stacy Wood. We've hired Joanna Wells, more of a commitment to the county and the business here. Joanna Wells is in a position of treasury management and business development, meaning her job is to help people like the county, businesses that need to move money, need to access certain systems. And so you're going to have that dedicated in the Big Bend customer service there at the treasury management level. We do timely and accurate reporting and can provide lots of different ways there for you to get your information. And one of our biggest things is fraud protection through positive pay. And I'm going to touch back on that when we get to page 19 and 20. So I've got 8 copies. I'm going to take the first one. So what I'm going to have Stacy pass out first, I think this is interesting. And the idea of transparency for public fund monitoring. What do we need to do? It's really a burden on our shoulders that we make sure every dollar of the county is collateralized appropriately. And so what this is an actual live report of every public fund Maverick currently has. I've left out the names for privacy, but you're looking at a real report that we monitor. What you're going to see, let's go over, let's say you've got public funds, scoot over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to see that total uninsured deposits number. So that's everything above FDIC that we have for all of our public funds. That total number is 35.5 million. Then I want you to scoot over 1 column down here in the lower right, and you're going to see 48 million. That's the amount of pledged collateral we have with, if you bump over 1 more, a collateral surplus of 12,800,000, almost 13 million. What that shows, like I say, I'm proud to work for Maverick. What that shows is we're comfortable giving even a cushion on the level there of what we collateralize. Some banks, when times get tight, they don't have a lot of securities out there. They'll try to find other ways. You'll start hearing sweeps, which we've got sweeps, but you'll start hearing a lot of other ways to, hey, well, we've got different methods to keep your money insured. We do a little more traditional. We've just got pledged securities that you can, that are pledged to your deposit that we monitor, ensure you've got enough. Now let's go to the second page here. This is the one that says FHN Financial in blue. We're going to look at that real quick. This is the report for a specific public fund. And what this shows is what the actual pledged security is, the amount, the book value. A pledged security on a bond for $3 million, it might have a book value today of 2.5. We keep an eye on the book value. Of course, that's the number we want securing your deposit is the book value. So that's what it is today. And so this is a report where you would look at and say, okay, these are our particular securities pledged to me. I kind of like that we have to, we've got down to that level. Then I want you to look at this other one. It's a little taller. It's also a page that says FHN Financial. I did you the benefit of turning page 16. I didn't give you the full report because this one's got the totals. What I like about this report, if you look at the lower right where it says unpledged market value, that is $220 million. That is right now what Maverick has in unpledged securities, meaning the county has a need, short-term, long-term, whatever it may be, that, hey, we've got a large depository that we need pledged. How hard is it? A good question you could ask your bank. How hard is it for you to come up with additional pledge? Well, I'm showing here right now, I've got 220 million currently unpledged. in security. So if y'all came to us and said, hey, we need another 100 million, something big has happened, and we want to know that that can be not in any place weird, not spread out across the country, but in our local bank with pledged security, securing our money, we have that availability. And like I say, it's a lot of banks can't offer that just because they're under different pressures on their accounting and their books. I think we're a strong, healthy bank. We've got a healthy pool of securities that we can draw on at any time. And so that's what tries to keep us moving forward there. Now let's look at the big report, your fancy printed one. I'm a little cheap, so I've just got a cheap printed out black and white copy, but I made sure y'all had a nice one. Let's flip to page 19. A lot in here tells you about our bank, tells you, hey, we're a good, strong bank. We're a profitable bank. That's what you want for your bank. So let's get to the brass tacks of it. I'm going to start at page 20 and we'll work back one. What are your fees going to be as a county? That's a good question. What are our fees going to be? You look on there, there's a lot of zeros, and there's only two places where you'll find a fee. The first one is wire transfers. The second one is stop pays. Now I'm going to go back. I told you I'd come back to fraud monitoring. What we offer at Maverick Bank is I like to feel like we're a community bank. We're not a particularly huge bank, but we've got great big bank tools. One of those is treasury management and positive pay. What positive pay does is it puts your county auditor, treasurer, your county people in the driver's seat of what's coming clear in our account. As opposed to, hey, once a month I go through and reconcile and we look and see, is anybody running any checks to us that shouldn't be there? Puts you in the driver's seat for your checks issued or registered in the positive pay system. I go in and I go online and I print a check and I put, your account number, your routing number, but I put mine, it's paying to me and it's $100,000. That pops out the second that tries to hit your bank account. The only way to truly catch fraud at a enterprise, at a county or a business level is to be proactive on it. We all know we've got consumer protections. I've called up Chase before on my credit card, say, hey, I didn't spend that. And they said, sure, no problem. Those are consumer protections. When it comes to business, county, things like that, the more of the onus is on the business to protect yourself from fraud. You need tools like positive pay. When I first got into the positive pay business, it was years ago, and not many businesses used it. Now for any business bigger than a hot dog stand, if you issue checks, I recommend you get positive pay. At Maverick Bank, at bigger banks, that's typically a fee. I worked at a mega bank once, not because I quit, but because my bank had sold, and then I went back to work for my original people. But that was a fee product. Hey, I sold that I still sold it because I said you're going to need it, and it's cheaper than not having it. It's not a fee product for us anywhere with any of our businesses, particularly not the county. And so why I bring that up is you don't need a traditional stop payment right now. Hey, my check's lost. Hey, I lost a checkbook. Well, now you're looking at a stop payment. Through positive pay, you can put that on a hot list. Nope, that check's no longer good. It will never hit your account. It'll pop up. You'll have the opportunity if you wanted to pay it, but it puts you in that position of actually what's clearing your account to be able to have control on that. So you don't need a traditional stop pay. Wire transfers, you're going to have ACH generation through your treasury management products. And what that'll do is put you in a position where we will not necessarily need to wire transfer everywhere. You'll be able to ACH. And that usually accomplishes the same thing. We'll make wire transfer as easy as you need. I'm not 100% sure how often you do it. If you do it a lot, usually if I have a business that says, man, I wire transfer all the time, I usually say, hey, let's sit, let's talk. I bet we can probably solve that with ACH generation. Wire transfer should be more of a one-off, have to have. We can do a lot with ACH. There's even ways to get ACH quicker. Usually but we can do a lot of things with ACH. And so like I said, even if I have a regular business guy that's like, no, I wire all the time, wires, and I'm like, hey, something needs to change because wire is probably not the best tool to use all the time. I'm going to drop back to one page. Now, here's what usually everybody just looks at and then tells me to go on in the hall. Sorry. And that is, hey, what are we getting paid for our deposits? So you're getting paid for your deposits. I'm looking at page 19, 90%. Usually that's kind of the hot new thing, and everybody has a percentage of the 90-day T-bill. 182-day T-bill, my mistake, and that is 90%. What does that equate today? That equates, we took numbers just to kind of give an example on April 1st, 90% of the 180-day T-bill will be about 3.35%. So all your deposits are covered. We talked about that. We've got collateralization. So everything's secure there. In the event the bank gets hit by a bus, your deposits are completely secured. And every penny in the bank is earning that 90% of the 182K bill that is adjusted quarterly. So It moves up and down. I could check it today. It's gonna be a little bit different. It was yesterday, usually not severely unless something severe happens, but it's adjusted quarterly, so that does, it will fluctuate. I would, if you ask me, hey, should it fluctuate? Yes, you want to ride that 90-day T-bill or 182-day T-bill for sure. So that's kind of what I want to run everybody through. Stacy, I miss anything?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Stacy's backing me up. So I'll be happy to take questions and put y'all on with your morning.
All right, on the securities, Michael, we are talking about the typical liquid securities. The letter of credit's not in play on y'all.
Correct. If you look at that, that's the report I showed securities, marketable securities, as well as, like I say, that surplus we've got at the bank of the 200 million, whatever, is all in pledgeable
Do
securities.
you trade your own securities or do you have somebody do it for you?
Through TIB, and it's very common at our level. That's the one who
And
handles
the
our securities.
securities are held in custodial accounts somewhere else?
At TIB.
At TIB.
TIB. Texas Independent Bank, they call themselves a banker's bank.
And y'all are marketing to market how often?
Now, that's a very good question. I'd have to check on that. I'd imagine quarterly. Or it could be live, but I bet we keep pretty close track what those securities are worth.
I mean, your margins are big enough that you probably can get by with a little longer mark to market, but your traders are bound to be looking at that all the time. Okay.
I think if you look, the reports we've got are live as of the 7th of July. So I mean, it's just probably at a daily review level is what we're looking at there.
110%, right? That's 110%.
I believe so. Yes, sir.
And then the interest rate or the interest that's paid on our accounts just gets posted to the statement.
Correct.
And this is just kind of not in particular order. Bank statements we can get electronically.
Yes, we talked to
When do they pop out electronically?
last day of the month. I mean, I'd say it's pretty live system. Not very much of a delay there. I'd say the day, if at the end of the month's the 30th, but it pops out the 1st. We also have the capability. It's one thing that's unique we saw in here is like, hey, can you provide us a digital down file statement? Yes, we can do that.
I don't know that we'll need that, but I think it's great that you can. And your statements will have truncated checks, so I can see these guys can see all their canceled checks.
Correct.
Within the statement.
Correct. You should be able to view all your checks and items. And then, like I say, I think one thing to keep in mind too is that positive pay feature. That's going to be rolling all your checks, monitoring, making sure everything matches like it's supposed to. And that's your biggest thing to prevent fraud.
I bring a deposit over at 3:00 in the afternoon live. Deposit posted the same day or?
Yes, they're posted same day. We run all the way through. Our bank hours are 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. We're open in the drive-through. 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We're open in the lobby and drive-through. And the drive-through continues to be open till 5:30 Monday through Thursday and 6 o'clock on Friday. We're also the only bank in town that has Saturday hours, 9 to noon. And everything Monday through Friday happens live. There's no cutoff time in the middle of the day. That's kind of an older school banking thing.
And Joanna's gonna be our one-stop shop person.
Should be your one-stop shop. And the really cool thing I'm proud to have with Joanna in the county here serving us is that she's in that treasury management world. We're not going out of market, or I'm not having to go talk to somebody in Lubbock about that. So she's here, she lives here, and she's a phone call away for all your people.
So probably never gonna happen or shouldn't happen very often, but we failed to move some money to an account. We pop in NSL. You work with us on that.
Exactly. I review that personally every morning.
Probably call Julie and go, hey, you're over.
Correct. Yes. I would in no way want to, it's a big enough deposit. It's a big enough, it's a county. I'm looking at, like I say, I personally review that every morning. If I'm not, somebody else is reviewing it behind me. My boss reviews that about 6 a.m. in the morning. And usually if he has anything he's interested in, I'll have an email waiting on me when I get there. So no, we review that very closely. And that's something that we'd be happy. We've got a pretty late cutoff, even 10:30-ish. So you've got a call. We've got something solved by then.
I mean, we would pledge to you that we will not do this very often, but when it does happen, I don't know why this sort of rubs me the wrong way to have 6 million in the bank, get banged $30.
That's true.
For an occasional. Now, if we were doing it all the time, then I think the call comes to me and the court and says, hey, these guys are overdrawn every day. That's a different story. We get that.
It's a benefit to being a community bank is that authority rests here in Alpine, Texas. So I appreciate that.
All right, so 90% of the 26-week treasury bill. Wow, that's good.
I'm proud to offer that. I think that's our strongest offering we've had in the public funds. So I'm proud to offer that to the county.
I think it shows the dedication to the bank too, on what Maverick is interested in as far as their customer pool. It is the bread and butter of what drives the communities that we are located in, so.
All right, any questions from the court? Excellent presentation, thank you. If there's no other.
We got one question right over here.
How easy is it to transfer between bank accounts internally?
It's very easy. We've got a full, real healthy suite, online banking. The online banking's run by the same people that run our core. And so we can set that up, and we even have, say, you make a change and you're like, can I check it out ahead of time? I could take you on your computer right now, click, and we've got a demo version. So you can go in and play with it all you
We
want.
do that on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's exceedingly simple. And like I say, not only simple, but we have a demo version where you can test drive it before you get everything that.
Very easy. The business banking suite is comparable, I would say, to any national have. It has all the capabilities and like I said, it's user friendly. I've used it like for the emergency services board account.
Y'all are not fixing to make some big changeover in your accounting system, are you? Okay.
No, we're in a good, one reason we're with the system we're in, is because we are a growing bank and it's a very scalable system. And so that's what we like
All of y'all
about
do
it.
the same system, I can see.
They're pretty close. They're all, they'll all buy this. There's only 3 or 4 big ones out there, but you can still mess it up. Don't get me wrong. But Stacy's a great resource in that she's a treasurer for entities and manages their accounts. And so she's seen it. She's been pleased with it. And so I'm proud to offer that.
Setting up the accounts and all the paperwork that's got to go into that, y'all can keep it fairly electronic or.
I like to think we're very progressive on the front of, we can do everything electronic. So no, we don't have to have everybody stop by Maverick Bank Day because we wanted to open up an additional checking account. We've got, we can do all that through email, through a Adobe sign. So we use very similar to a DocuSign or anything that we've done before. So we'll probably call, we like talking to you. Nobody wants to sign somebody up without talking to them on there. But yes, we make that very painless.
If you want paper statements, are those available?
Yes, sir.
And how long after the close of the month would they be put out?
However long it takes for the mail to get here, which, what is that, 40 days? However long it takes the mail, although they'll be available online where they can click. And
Yeah,
view it.
I understand that.
Mhm.
Sometimes paper's required.
It's fine. And so we do send paper statements also for whatever reason. It's mail slow, but you really wanted your paper statement, we provide you one right here in Alpine.
Quick question on setting up on the online. Pretty easy to set different levels of authority so that Julie can do transfers. Her deputy can do transfers, but for instance, in my department, we can look at it.
It's very easy. And what I like about it is we put that control on a person that you decide.
So Julie would be able to.
You can go in there and say, I want this person to have this type of access, this person to have this type, this person to have this authority. That works real well in business accounts because you'll have that, I'm the owner and I can do everything. I want her to be able to mail a check, but not do, I want her, we can set that up. So now, I like that it rides on the county. That way, if somebody quits, the county can go right in, and click, that's done. And, or if the county, somebody's hired, you can go in, build that out. You're done. You're not having to wait on the bank to come back at you with anything.
Yeah, it's like with your access only. And restrict what controls that she wants you on.
Can I set approval levels? Like if I have somebody initiate a bank transfer from account to account and an approval level be set, like if
Where you
they.
can limit how much they're doing on paper.
Mhm.
Yes, I do believe that that is a capability.
Yeah.
What we will have to double check with Philip. Philip is our main treasury management,
Yeah.
but
And then I can, that can be, we can fluctuate that limit if need be.
from user to user.
Or for us, like payroll is at a certain limit, like, and say, next year, a higher cost of payroll or whatever. We can up the limits as need be.
And we'll have certain limits set on the bank side, right? Let's protect everybody when we say, hey, your payroll if your payroll went up 100 grand this month, that hits a limit. So, but it's also very fluid. We do this all the time where, we keep pretty tight limits on what we consider normal behavior, so we can try to catch that normal behavior. However, business happened. And so you say, nope, this month is because of this. We can do that real quick, real live and adjust and then probably go back to normal. So we try to keep some limits to keep everybody safe there as well.
All right, the shot clock is run out, but that ball was in the air when you asked the question. So thank y'all for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Do one more and then y'all can speak.
You here?
Yeah.
Sounds like a laundry room out there.
Maybe. Maybe. Then I'm covered up with paper. Me too. I mean, I'm just over here on both sides today. Yeah. I'm talking. Everybody get their questions into. More. Looking at me. 90% of 26 treasury bills is good rate, guys. It's pretty good. It's a better rate than a 13-week treasury bill. They had a fee or two in there.
Fees for service.
The fees, yeah, they weren't totally free.
No.
Although I would like to think a relationship again, like, come on, man, you're gonna charge me $30 for a stop payment. I got $8 Hi, Harold. Good, come on in. All right, so we're gonna put 20 minutes on the clock. If it's yours, we've got some questions for you. So if you wanna take the lead and introduce yourselves and your colleagues, we'll get started.
All right. Thank you all very much for the opportunity to provide the proposal. And we did. My name is Kara Turn, and with me today is our branch manager here in Alpine, Isaac Pizarro. And then this is John Pelchick. He's one of our relationship managers his office is in San Antonio.
I know exactly where you are. I got a tour of your place one time. Yeah.
Excellent. So we did go ahead and get a brief presentation, just a abridged version of the 60 or so page proposal that you guys have in front of you, and we can walk through that. A little bit about me. My name is Kara Turn. Like I said, I do live in Pecos, and so my current position with Trans-Pecos Banks is the market president. And so I do report directly to Philip Kennedy, who is our regional market president. So currently I'm overseeing Pecos, Alpine, and Marathon. We just recently had a person who's moved out of that position and moved back to California. So I've been tapped to come back in for this area. A few years ago, I did cover this area. So I'm really excited for the opportunity. You guys know how beautiful it is out here. And if you spend too much time in Pecos, you really love any excuse to come see your mountains. So we can go through this deck, or you can ask me some questions.
We could start with questions. I've got some active questions that we could start with. These are not in any particular order, but just something we've asked the other banks. Let's talk a little bit about securities. Tell me how your portfolio works and how our deposits are secured.
Okay, so if you'll flip on page 4 of the packet that I've given you, we've worked with our finance team to put together some high points of our securities and the different ways that we can collateralize your funds. So to secure deposits, Trans-Pecos Banks does offer the options of pledging bonds that are held by a third-party custodian that would include the Federal Reserve Bank, TIB, or FHLB. I know you and Philip have had a few different discussions surrounding that. So we do offer an FHLB letter of credit to provide that backed guarantee in lieu of the pledged securities. And then we do also offer, Cedars, which is a long-term investment into the community banking group offered by Intrify. ICS, it's also an Intrify, but it's a liquid, it's not a term deposit. And then we have recently started working with ModernFi, which is really formulated and structured exactly the same as Intrify. It's just an alternative community banking group that we've started working with. So I know Philip had asked us to meet with you and really review those securities, and that's something that, John, myself, and Derek, who is our analyst that manages your funds, would be happy to do and make sure that, any of the securities that we choose are something that you are comfortable with and that is aligned with your investment policy.
Are you in a position, and I wouldn't quibble over the type of security as long as it was government backed.
Yes, sir.
Fannie Mae's, Freddie Mac's, T-bills, those sorts of things. That's not an issue for us, but are you in a position where you could pledge you could pledge nothing but securities against those deposits?
I believe, yes, sir.
So in other words, if I had $6 million in cash in your bank, you could pledge me 110% of treasury, let's just say with treasury bills, you could get
Yes.
that. No line of credit, no other, you're talking to a judge who's real old fashioned. Okay, so the line of credit doesn't do anything for me. I can't speak for my colleagues, but you could collateralize it with security.
We could do that.
All right, go ahead. Well, I guess I'm asking questions, all right. So do you trade your own securities or does somebody else trade them for you?
I know that we do manage it daily. That's not a piece that I'm fully involved with from day to day, but so we have several people internally that do it, but then we do have our accounts, at different banks that they would have theirs. Yes, sir.
What about, you know if you have a custodian for the securities?
We do.
Okay, and you know who that is?
Right now, I believe it is, I think it's Doug Hogan, our CEO, is doing that.
But the custodian is a third party.
Sorry,
Yeah,
FHL.
so who are you who you're using? Just out of curiosity. Ross Bank or?
I do know.
Okay, not a big deal. I'm
okay.
curious. But your securities are held off.
Yes, sir.
Somewhere else.
Yes.
So that, okay. Right. And how often are y'all marking those securities to market?
That I cannot answer, but I believe Next Bank is our bank.
Is there any fees associated with the management portfolio? Do you charge us any fees?
There are fees associated, but we absorb those fees. And that is part of the contract.
Okay, and the rate you're gonna pay, at least according to your presentation, was 80% of Fed funds rate?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and what would that rate be today?
So today that would be 2.896, so 2.9, and that is on your checking. So your money market would be 85% Fed funds, and that would be 3.077.
We have any money markets? We'd all be DDA, right? All demand, okay. Okay. And so we can find out where the Fed fund rate is for the day, take 80% or 85 and calculate our rate. And
Yes,
that interest is posted to our account each month.
correct. And it does reset every Monday. So we go in and make any adjustments to the accounts every Monday.
I think, I mean, I guess I can speak because we currently have a relationship with you guys, but I think it's real important for us as investment. So Julie and I are the co-investment officers for the county. And so we're charged with making sure that, I mean, it goes without saying that the thing that keeps me awake at night is to wake up and not have $9 million secured because our responsibility is to the taxpayers. So getting good reports, being able to look at our position, look at your collateral margins, look at your securities. You see, yep, you've not been able to do that in the past. You think you can get that fixed, I guess is my question. Because I want to see what you pledged. I don't have to have every treasury bill, but I would like to know what my collateral is and how the margins are.
And that is something that we can provide. And would you want that weekly?
Well, I think monthly is fine.
Monthly?
I mean, with 110% haircut, I mean, I think we're okay on a monthly basis. I just, what we've gotten in the past was y'all used the Federal Home Loan Bank line of credit, but you showed the whole line of credit, $330 million. I don't know what's been allocated to me. It's one of the reasons.
So we can be more granular
know.
and show you
Yeah, I wanna see
specifically
this.
where Brewster funds
Right.
are
These are the bundle of securities that we pledged to your line.
understood. We
That's what I
have that
want to see.
information.
All right, statements come out electronically. You can do electronic statements and
Yes, sir.
when do the electronic statements available?
So they typically drop, if we don't have a holiday or anything, we see those by the 3rd of the month.
So third of the month, so month ends on a Monday, we'd see the electronic statements on a Wednesday.
That is the time frame
And
that
then
we're looking.
the paper statements, if to the extent we needed those are out a few more days later.
A few more days, but if you needed those delivered, we do have them here. It just does come out through our mail house. So it does add a little bit of a delay.
And does the statements that we get electronically give us copies of the checks with the statement? So when you see the truncated the checks?
They did make a decision to switch our imagery with the National Image Archive, and we are expecting that to go to a line here in the next quarter. In the meantime, they did retract those from statements, but that's something that we're doing as a one-off. We can get the statements, with images, which is something we're currently doing for several people. So if that's been a pain point for you guys, that's easily remedied.
Yeah,
They are available, they're just not being mailed.
I mean, we're very old fashioned.
Mhm.
It probably should be because it's not our money. And so having copies of those statements, very important to our finance guys.
Understood.
Or at least having access to them quickly. I know the way the world's changing there, but we're not, so.
Certain business aspects, you need that. Thanks.
Okay, who's the primary contact at the bank? Who would we call? Because we really would like to have one person we call,
Okay.
takes care of all the problems.
It's me.
Okay.
I am your primary contact. I do have a wonderful team behind me, but I am able to delegate anything out. If I don't have capacity to get to it, you're not ignored. We take care of you. But I think that is what I've mostly done for the 9 years I've been with Trans-Pecos Banks, is this relationship manager position. And I would like to assure you, you will be in very good hands.
I mean, I think that's important to us, is that you may not know the answer. We don't expect you to know the securities portfolio in detail.
Yes, sir.
But we can call you or somebody and you can find the answer. And you're
Yeah.
not dialing for dollars or who is this, and we have to explain.
No, none of that. And I would like to let you know, we do have a new feature that we could make available to you. It's a chat functionality that is within your online banking. So as your employees have questions, if they are doing a chat feature in online banking, we do have, dedicated staff in our customer service area that are monitoring that, and they would pull me right in to be the respondent to any questions that your team has.
And tell me about any fraud prevention programs that you have.
So currently, fraud comes in lots of different ways. I know for checks and things like that, we are just finalizing positive pay. So that is going to be available. We're actually doing our final testing on a few internal accounts, and that would actually give you either reverse positive pay, where your employees are looking at items that they are trying to clear and saying, that's good, that's good, that's good. Or you could upload an Excel spreadsheet with all of your authorized items and their descriptions. And our system would actually check it and kick out anything that's not matching. So that gives you the ability to prevent any check fraud, any ACH debit fraud on the account, real time.
And cutoff times for them, I'm kind of wandering here, cutoff times for deposits. I bring you a deposit at 3:00 in the afternoon. Does that hit my bank account today or tomorrow?
The only reason that for you guys, it would, because we are ensuring collateralizing all of your funds on internal funds. We're not sweeping it out anywhere for that insurance. So you would get credit that day. The only reason we might wait is if it's too late to and we needed to up your insurance because it was a large deposit,
Okay.
we might ask you to wait in that instance.
Yeah, there will be times in the county where our cash is gonna fluctuate pretty significantly, particularly around December,
Yes,
January, as we get ad valorem taxes.
yes, sir.
So we can have enormous amounts of money moving through during those time periods, and so y'all would have to be prepared to collateralize those pretty quickly.
Right.
Okay. Fees of services, I looked at your proposal, looks like there are no fees.
That's correct.
So if we bounced a check, we shouldn't bounce any checks.
You shouldn't, but if
Let's say
something
we
went
did it,
sideways, there were no.
we've got to transfer some money. I'm assuming the relationship is strong enough that you would probably not hit us for $30.
That's exactly right.
Okay, and if we were doing it every day, that's a different story, I get that. But
You know, with
You won't do it
contract
every day.
customers, all of your fees are
this
waived.
guy right here won't let us do it. every day.
I don't do it, but if it does happen, you know,
That includes cashier's checks, that sort of thing.
checkbooks,
What about
deposit
return
slips
check fees were
waived.
like, okay, all right, well, we don't do a lot of wires. I can't think. Last time we did a wire, maybe
We've done
one.
One reason.
It's usually because it's a crisis or something. Wire transfers are free.
Yes, sir.
We don't do a lot of that. Online portal, I think did you all have some questions about online? Level of authority and who can do what? Did you have something about?
I mean, I utilize your online system, so we're familiar.
Okay.
Pretty familiar with it.
There are a lot of controls on that, so as you add users and things like that, you're very much in control of. There are lots of different things that you can tweak to really limit, you know, by amount, by account, you know, view only, and lots of controls as you add users.
There was one, I did have to contact you the other day. I was trying to make sure one of my employees had on view only access, but I had to contact you guys to get that final level of approval.
And that's just a fail safe that we have. It does kick out so that God forbid you had somebody do a takeover of your online banking. It does kick out so that we see that you're trying to add a new user and normally you look at a call.
And it's just
And it's usually really fast. It's a really fast turnaround. We just call it, this was you.
Okay.
Any other questions from?
One of the questions I have is, what provisions do you have in place if checks go through with duplicate numbers? For example, a check goes through, it clears, it's a valid check, but then another check goes through with that same number.
So our system does have safeguards built in that it is checking for that type of thing. And then as a backup to that with positive pay, because you're uploading and it would actually, we can upload all of the history into it. So it's see that that's.
I understand, but just assuming that we didn't have positive pay for some reason, does your system automatically flag kick out and we get notified if a duplicate check number tries to go through the system?
That is the way the system is supposed to function, as I understand.
Does it function that way?
As far as I know, yes. It is functioning that way.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions from the court?
I know.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
Well, we appreciate the relationship and we do thank you for coming in. We are going to take a little recess and have somebody score our sheets and we'll know an answer pretty quickly. Okay, probably in the next hour.
Okay.
We'll let you know. Okay.
Great. Thank you
Thank you,
very
guys.
much for your
Appreciate it.
time.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all too.
All right, we are still a public meeting. So you're welcome to make a public comment. You are public. You can come up here and tell us what you think. Well, I don't think we need to get in dirt.
So whenever we did the initial changeover, we didn't realize what kind of task we were actually doing. I currently have 8 to 10 accounts, and that was a big transfer over. I do understand Transpecus was at the time trying to set up their system, and it was gonna be, but it took me almost a year and a half trying to get them to understand what it was that I needed. It was the same issue for every account for almost a year and a half. Now, whether it's software that they used or whether it's the people I had to talk to, I just, to be very clear, this is not an easy transition for anybody, much less anywhere else. I currently still work with Linda at West Texas National Bank because I have to go back to get those records. So I am very fearful of having to jump back and forth, including a third bank if it were to go that way. I have enough of my spreadsheet for everything that I touched while I've been in the position that I've been. So I have enough confidence in that spreadsheet. But me having to go back into West Texas National Bank for all the previous stuff, including all the bail bonds, all the money that goes to it, it makes me weary wanting to continue to go to switch everywhere. Because then we'll be tracking even more. So just an idea. That we
Yeah,
also.
I mean, if I had my way, we'd pick a bank, it would be a great relationship and it'd last 100 years. But unfortunately, the statutes say we have to bid this out every 4 years, whether we like it or not. And so, but I'm expecting that whatever we decide, we're all gonna get on board with it.
Okay.
I'm not, my patience level to have somebody say, well, I'm not gonna change banks, doesn't work for me. This is something we're required to do.
Yes.
And, but I understand your comments, where you're coming from, so. Sarah? Comments from the board? What I'd like to do is take a 10-minute recess. Think you and Isaiah, you and Patty can knock it out in 10 minutes. Y'all get the score sheets, go hide in the law library or wherever you want to do it. We'll take a 10-minute break tops, and we'll be back and see what we got.
Well,
If y'all will give your score sheets to Patty and Isaiah. And we are recessed. This court's now back in session and I want to thank everybody for persevering through lunch. So I know Jim Westerman said he was buying. Oh, I'm sorry. But what we did, guys, is there were 7 of us that scored. And, each of the 5 criteria that you guys were charged with, ability to place securities, interest rates, service requirements, cost of services, cash management products, were all scored by the 7 of us. And the winner of the bid for the county depository is the Maverick Bank. So congratulations. Well, thank you other guys for participating. We appreciate it. And we'll go to work. Anything else?
Do we need to announce the scores or just the winner,
I can announce the scores if you wish.
just for the record?
Maverick got 667.5. West Texas 667. It's close. And Trans-Pecos, where are you? 528. Okay. All right. Any other business before the court? Our next meeting is 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Motion adjourned, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
This court's now adjourned.